Hey athletes, so I want to talk to you about different ways that you can make your squats even better. Whether you're doing bodyweight squats, goblet squats, maybe you're doing overhead squats, front squats, back squats, whatever. It's squat pauses. Now we've talked about this before. Different ways you can add intensity to your workout. We've talked tempo, we've talked eccentric loading, concentric loading, different things like that. I specifically want to talk about adding a pause to your squat. There's two ways to do it: passive and active. Okay, we've talked about passive and active before with when you're doing a push-up, you just going at a certain tempo, or you forcefully driving the floor away. Difference between passive and active. Same goes for your squat pause. And here's what I mean. So let me lower the camera and hope I get this right. So in a squat pause, there's passive, where you kind of just go to your end range of motion. You're hanging out. Maybe you have a weight on your front, and then after your 3 to 5 seconds, you drive up. You're very aggressive when you drive up. You have a lot of intent when you drive up, but your bottom position is still passive. Again, you sat at the bottom range of motion. You kind of just hung out. Now, if you're trying to work on getting lower, this can actually be a great way for you to help mobilize, right? Helping you mobilize with a little bit of resistance. This shouldn't be a 1 rep max, pause squat by any means if you're trying to do it for mobility purposes. But again, it can actually help lower your body and get you a little more comfortable deeper. So doing passive reps can be beneficial. But once you have established a mobility, your squat form and patterns are very, very similar every single time you squat. You don't have to think, how do I do a squat? You're now thinking, how do I get better at doing a squat? I recommend doing active pause squats. So rather than going all the way down and kind of settling at the bottom of your squat, I want you to be maybe a split, a half an inch above your bottom range of motion, where you're actively holding. Your hips are on, your legs are still on, you're ready after 3 to 5 seconds from here without bouncing, because a lot of people will try to get a little bit of a bounce. After you've held this for 5 seconds from right here, dead pause, then you drive up. Doing active pause squats can be very, very beneficial. Most people, when they're doing squats, they do rebound out of the bottom. It's called bouncing out of the bottom, and that's perfectly viable. You can do that. But a lot of people lose their engagement, their tightness, okay? They lose that good tension at the bottom because they're going into a passive movement and then trying to reactivate their muscle. So by doing these active pause squats, you can remain tight at the bottom, so that when you're doing really heavy repetitions, you can remain tight even through the bounce, and then you're less likely to get out of position and use your legs better. Pause squats make you stronger, they make me stronger, and I want you to try them.